Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking at a 1995 Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. This one with 260,000 kilometers on it. It's going to be going over to the USA after this video is done. 3-liter turbo diesel engine. Basically like a civilian version of a Land Cruiser, or a lower grade version of their industrial version of the Land Cruiser. Kind of a weird little way to put it, but a 70 series nonetheless. We have 216,911 kilometers at the moment. The vehicle has been color changed to black, and overall, pretty good condition, body and engine wise. Not much to say about this. The coolant and the oil both look fine. There is this white stuff on the fuel filter. It almost looks like paint. I don't think the diesel fuel looks like that when it dries. It's more like a light cooking oil or something like that. So yeah, a little bit weird. And has a bit of like peeling paint here on the radiator, on this plastic section of it. So not sure about that either. Let's close the hood now. Yeah, it is a diesel, so the engine is a little bit louder, but what a nice engine indeed, the 1KZ. A decent amount of power, known to be fairly reliable. Sometimes they have troubles with leaking fuel injectors, or fuel pump, I guess, mechanical fuel pump. But this one seems to be fine. Let's turn the engine off for the rest of the report, and we'll jump right in with the auction inspection sheet. So yeah, this was bought from auction. That's what we do, is buy cars from auction and send them around the world. So, 1995 Land Cruiser Prado. This is an SX wide, auction grade 3.5, interior C. Of course, it's four-wheel drive. All the Land Cruisers are. 216,900 kilometers with automatic transmission, alloy wheels, power steering, power windows. Sales points here are owner's manual, warranty papers, history papers, 8-seater, rear-mounted spare tire, original wheels, and aftermarket wood steering wheel. Okay, the report here from the inspector says interior is dirty. Seat side is ripped. Interior liner is ripped. Okay, so the seat side ripped is the ripped piping. I'll show you that pretty soon. And then the interior liner ripped is a door card. Has winter tires on it. Exterior has shallow scratches and some clear coat scratches. And then underside and frame have been painted. The roof is peeled paint and has some dents in it. Y1 is a cracked section here and has been fixed with tape. A2 over here on the corner of the over fender, and then AU2 over here. All these, like the Y1, A2, AU2, that's all explained on the website, so if you're going to be decoding this, then that's all understood before you start bidding on the cars. So, first off, I'll take you for a tour around it. The Land Cruiser 70 series looks great. The Prado has a different front end from the other Land Cruiser. You'll notice the difference because this one has the headlights out far, and the full Land Cruiser has them narrower and then has a different hood and front fenders. The 70 series is so Land Cruiser comes in a few different versions. There's the 70 and the 40. Those are the two industrial versions. And then there's the 50, 60, 80, 100, 200, and 300. They all are the still capable off-road, but made to be a little bit more comfort, like the comfort models. The 70 series comes in the regular version and the Prado version. The Prado is basically the 4-cylinder lighter duty version. Still incredibly cool. And then also it's split off from the regular Land Cruiser from here into the 90 series, which is that one over there, which is very similar to the Hilux Surf. A little bit on the bigger side, but shares the same engine and everything. Okay, this one has a few aftermarket parts. Maybe just one aftermarket part. It has an IBA Works fog light set. It looks a little on the old side. It has a bit of rust on it. We'll get into that in a sec. But let's take a look now at some of the defects. The front bumper. Now, it said Y1 and tape put on to fix it. So you can see some paint cracks in here. This here is the A2 this scuff on the corner there. And then all the over fenders except for one have cracking gasket material. So you can take these off and put a new gasket material in there. You can use a universal one that you can just buy online. But in some areas it's been taped back on. And I'm just going to go over here to make sure that I get all the over fenders at the same time. This is the one that has been replaced, although it's been taped on right here. So it's not a complete fit. And this one back here is the worst of all. All the gasket material's gone away. The whole thing has been taped on, and it rattles, or it's capable of moving. And when you close the door, it'll hit against the door. Okay, back around to the front. Grille is missing some of the chrome finish, and so it's faded. And this includes this line up here. It includes the headlight surrounds and the marker surrounds. Okay, bolts here on the front bumper have some rust on them. And the fog lights also have some rust on them at the top here, as well as some of the chrome is peeled off. I really like this. I don't know how they do it, but the yellow and purple is a very cool look in my opinion. There's a fender mirror here, but the edge of it has faded paint. And then of course the regular mirrors, they're also faded a bit as well. Okay, now because it's been repainted, there's some unevenness or some cloudiness in the paint in some areas, particularly the hood here. And my apologies that the vehicle is dirty. We bring these vehicles in and then send them off for shipping as soon as the customers know the condition. Now there's this weird thing. Now, some manufacturers do this. You'll see it on like Nissans and I don't know. You'll see it on a lot of cars. I just can't think of any offhand. They'll paint extra protective paint on the bottom sections here. And this is what has happened on this car. Right there you can see it. Right here you can see it. And all the way around, from right here down, has been repainted. Not repainted, an extra coating of paint has been put on to protect it. But the front fender and this door, they've been repainted after that. And so that little edge is still kind of visible underneath the paint. Okay, some mild scratching here. This would fall into the category of small scratches or clear coat scratches. And then we got a little dent right here. And again, some scratches in this area here and in this area here. The back bumper, this is supposed to be unpainted. It's supposed to be like an unpainted gray. It's been painted to black. And the paint on the one over here has peeled up because it has been hit. So you can see right there the original color underneath and dented there. We'll go to the interior soon, just showing the exterior first. This tint in the back is bubbled and wrinkled in some places, and so it needs to be removed. There's a third brake light up there. And then the wraparound windows are part of the Land Cruiser Heritage. Now this one actually, this is the pillar here, so it's not actually a window like the 40 series had, but the glass does wrap around. And so it's, yes, a characteristic. A little bit of a tarnished look there, maybe a little bit of fade. And coming down here, this doesn't attach on properly. I see that a lot. I'm not sure exactly what it is that causes that. And then the gasket here, we've already mentioned. Lots of scratches around the door handle. Same thing goes with this one. For the most part, not seeing a ton of dents. Just some minor scratches in various places and kind of some poor paint. Now, it used to be really popular to paint these Land Cruisers in a black color like this. It was all the rage about 10 years ago. And then probably about 8 years ago, or maybe 7 years ago, they changed over to painting them in like a beige color or a dusty blue or an army green with a white roof and bright red colors, like something a little bit more classic. The black era, it's already gone away. As a result, when you see a repainted black one, usually you can tell that the paint has been on there for about 10 years. And oftentimes the repaint hasn't been done very well. So this one's not terrible. I would recommend polymer coating it so that the paint doesn't fade. Repaints are often not done at the same quality as standard and aren't going to last your typical 15 to 20 years that a regular paint job lasts. So now to the interior. First off the back, this is a 3-row, so you can see your 3 rows right there. You don't get a lot of trunk room when you have the seats in this position, but you can fold and flip to the side to get more trunk room if you need it. You can also fold these down just like that, and you can place things on top as well if you need that space. Comes with a sneaky little compartment in here to hide things. And all of this looks fine. No signs of any accident, no rust here in the hinge areas. This door has been replaced, or has been at least taken off, because you can see the scratches on the bolts there. This one here not. Close this. Door's closed properly. No issue. Okay, on to the interior here. All door cards are good, and the interior is, well, there's rips on the one up there, but not excessive wear. They're clean and nice. Land Cruiser Prados are often a little on the dirty side. It seems like owners of these they don't have a lot of overlap with people who keep their cars nice and clean. And Prados are often smoked in. Just the type of buyer that likes the Prado in Japan also likes to suck on cigarettes. And so, do keep that in mind. This one has been smoked in. I don't think the previous owner was a smoker. A little bit of dirtiness up there in the headliner. A little tricky to get into the back seats here. So, fold and then pull this. And then fold that up. And then if you have the seat in this position, this will give you a lot of cargo room if you have those seats in there folded up position against the wall. But that's how you get in. And then they're not great seats for adults. I would say children mostly, particularly because the cushion is not that far away from the floor. So you have your knees up pretty high. Not that easy to put a kid into a car seat unless they can do it themselves. So I recommend it for like maybe 3-year-old and up when they're on the booster seat instead of the 5-point seats. Put this down and then up. And then this stays in a fairly straight up and down position, but it is adjustable here. You can push that back. You can push it back a lot more if you want. But it never folds completely flat, so it can't be conformed into a sleepable platform. Nice and clean inside here. You have controls for the rear heater there. And sitting in here, here's the front. You get great visibility all around because it's completely flat sides, tons of windows, making parking and maneuverability really easy. And you sit up nice and high, so you get a good view of things. Coming in the front section here, the door card rips that they were talking about. There's a little bit on the passenger side, but most of them are on the driver's side here. So little cracks here, looks like damage from sun. Besides that, this liner, the color of that is pretty exquisite, isn't it? I wonder if Toyota designed that, or if one of their suppliers had different selection that you could pick, and Toyota's like, that's the one we want for our seats too. It's very 90s, isn't it? Okay, so seats are mostly good. The rip in the seat is the piping, and it's possible to re-sew a piping onto there. I don't personally know how to do it, but I think in home economics class, if you took like grade 12, then you would learn how to do that. I've seen people do it at my school at the very least. Seat's fine. This one does not have the springs in the seat. There is one that can spring, which is pretty cool. Pretty clean in here. Wooden steering wheel. You can restore a wooden steering wheel if you want, because it's basically just wood. But this one here has like there is some very mild cracking, but it's mostly just the finish that has cracked. And it's noticeable when you touch it, because like it's a little bit rough in certain areas. Regular gauge set there. Let's just hop in. So dashboard has a teeny crack there, and then the rip in the passenger side right here and here, and that one's actually a little bit bigger when you open the door. Okay, it has a navigation screen here. The AC works and is good. You have a button for idle up, which is useful for towing or off-roading. You can set the temperature for the AC. which is something you aren't able to do anymore, but you used to be able to do. That's separate, like the power of the AC and then the temperature here cross between the heater and AC. So it's kind of a weird little thing, hence why you don't see it anymore. But Land Cruisers all had these. 40 series had it, 70 series, 80 series, 60 series. Yep. So this is fairly clean, but yes, it has been smoked in, and there is a cigarette burn right here. Automatic transmission, they're able to be bought with a 5-speed manual, but they're pretty rare and will cost you a lot more, or at least a few $1,000s more. And then just needs to be cleaned, basically. And of course, because it is a Land Cruiser, you've got high gear ratio and low gear ratio. So the low one would be used for pulling something like a tree out or off-roading when you don't have enough torque. And then hub locks and four-wheel drive. So with the hub locks, then you'll have the open diff in the back, and then these two will be locked to one another for off-roading. If you want to. You can run the four-wheel drive with or without that. It's the same thing as the older ones when you had that manual locking little dial that you would turn on the hub. But in this case, it's a power version. Okay, so that's the end of this. As usual, if you have any questions, please fire them my way. You can post in the comment section if you want, but if you really want an answer, make sure that you send us an email. There's a link to our website in the description of the video here. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.